We're reading the Beis HaLevi on Bitachon 13. The obligation to expand effort is merely a decreed punishment and a means to prevent sin. Now, in truth, it should not really have been appropriate for a perfect human being to have to make efforts in any type of productive activity, for all his needs should have been made available to him without any exertion, as was the case with Adam, the first man, before he committed the sin of eating from the tree of knowledge, for whom angels would roast meat and strain wine, as it says in Maseches Sanhedrin 59b. Only after man's sin was it decreed upon him, by the sweat of his brow shall you eat bread. For he was punished that he would have to exert himself in order to attain his needs. The needs for him to do something to obtain his needs was in the category of a punishment. Had he not sinned, he would not have to do anything to obtain all of them. Although we firmly believe that everything we have is given to us by Hashem, we are nevertheless required to invest Hishtadlus, effort, in obtaining what we need. We cannot sit comfortably at home expecting Hashem to bring us food. We need to have a job, engage in business, put in a hard day's work, shop, and prepare food. But how are we to understand this requirement? If in any event it is Hashem who gives us whatever we need and whatever we have, regardless of our efforts, then why did Hashem arrange that the world so that we need to invest effort? Ideally, Hishtadlus would not be necessary in Gan Eden. Before the sin of Adam and Chava, there was no such requirement. The sages teach that the angels prepared food and tasty drinks for Adam and Chava. But after the sin, when Adam and Chava were driven from Gan Eden, God punished mankind by decreeing that human beings would need to work and struggle to secure their needs. Thus, a requirement to do Hishtadlus is a punishment. Furthermore, another reason that after Adam ate from the tree of knowledge, it became necessary to require him to work to acquire his needs, that is, a proclivity for evil and desire was added to him. According to many classic sources, before Adam sinned, the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, was external to him, embodied by the snake in the Gan Eden. By sinning, the Yetzer Hara became internalized to the extent that man now believes that it is he himself who desires the sinful behavior. As an analogy, since a normal person does not have the desire to kill, it would take extraordinary outside compulsion to convince him to pull the trigger. Every sin was like that before Adam sinned. Now, however, the same person has the temptation to cut corners to make a handsome profit, and he fails to recognize that this temptation is coming from the Yetzer Hara, not from his own essence. And therefore, if the situation had remained as it had been previously, where man received all his needs while making no effort, he would have been free to use his time solely for the sin. Before Adam sinned, he had no internal urge to sin. He would therefore use his time and energy for spiritual pursuits. However, by committing the sin of eating from the forbidden tree, he and all his descendants became injected with a sinful desire, which made them inclined to act wrongly. It therefore became necessary for people to work hard in order to limit the amount of their free time. Thus, the obligation of Hishtadlus serves a great purpose, for it inhibits one's opportunity to sin. As per the sage's statement that idleness leads to immorality, therefore, exertion was decreed upon man. In keeping with the sage's statement, the Torah study together with the work is good, since the effort of doing both of them makes sin forgotten. Indeed, statistically, crime rates rise on holidays and weekends when people are not busy at work. And this idea that it is only because man has sinned that he must work hard for his livelihood, as it says in Maseches Kedushim 82a. Rabbi Shimon Bar Elazar says, "Have you ever seen a wild animal or a bird that has a craft? Yet they are sustained without suffering. Now, they were created only to serve me. while I was created to serve my master. Is it not illogical, then, that I should be sustained without suffering? So why must I work for my daily bread? However, the answer is that I have corrupted my deeds, and thus lost my right to toil-free sustenance. Based on the Beis HaLevi's 2 reasons for Hishtadlus, the meaning that I have corrupted my deeds has a twofold interpretation: either that it is part of the punishment to which Adam was sentenced for his sin, or it alludes to the fact that man now has an inner evil inclination leading him to corruption. Therefore, ever since Adam sinned in the Garden of Eden, man must actively engage in some pursuit in order to attain a livelihood. This second aspect of the need for Hishtadlus is also mentioned by the Chovos HaLevovos. In addition, he offers another reason. Hashem wanted to give us more opportunity to be tested, thereby seeing if we would obey his commandments. Instead of receiving a ready-made loaf of bread, man must plow, plant, and harvest. Many mitzvos are involved in farming. It is prohibited to plow with an ox or a donkey together. It is prohibited to plant mixed seeds. One must leave portions of certain crops for the poor. In today's times as well, many halachos involve the workforce. One may not lend with interest. One may not cheat or steal. Thus, while imposing on us the necessity to earn a livelihood, Hashem gave us the opportunity to perform many mitzvos and to make us worthy of eternal reward in the world to come.